Hello and welcome to Soul in Balance. And in this video, we will be going over Venus in Partner's 7th house and what it means when we have this beautiful aspect show up in our synastry. Now, first up, we need to understand that Venus rules the 7th house. It also rules the 2nd house, which is the relationship with ourselves. And when it comes into the 7th house, it's our relationship with others. So if we go over what the 7th house means, so the 7th house is love, beauty, relationships, balance, desire, creativity, how we make money. It also represents law and legal documents. It also represents open enemies and, you know, what we find beautiful, what we find our ideal. It also represents what we project onto others. It's like what we're not owning and seeing about ourselves, but we project it onto others. And it also kind of represents what we're looking for in a partner, in a relationship, in a marriage. And so when we have this aspect show up, it is just really beautiful. It really does inspire us or draw us to wanting a relationship and wanting to commit, because the Venus person is like, it's the ideal, you know. The Venus person is seen as, you know, what the house person sees as beautiful, you know, what they look like, how they hold themselves, you know, what they like creatively, how they make money, how they operate in relationships, how they have family values or relationship values. The 7th house person, you know, they really have this mutual understanding and respect, or, you know, they operate maybe in the same way. So the house person really feels inspired to be in a relationship or be in some kind of commitment with the Venus person. And I do also feel the Venus person feels that as well. There's just a very strong pull to be in some kind of real committed relationship together. So with this aspect, both the couple find it very easy to find balance, you know, like if issues come up, you know, there's a lot of good compromising and good understanding between this aspect. And realistically, you know, like I said before, the house person sees the Venus person as the ideal. But that ideal, just as a shadow side aspect, you know, that doesn't always mean the ideal is healthy, you know, like maybe the house person has, you know, like the 7th house in Scorpio, and their Venus, the house person's Venus is poorly aspected by Pluto, or, you know, some kind of issue. Maybe Saturn's there. So, you know, doesn't necessarily always mean that the ideal is healthy. But all in all, like if this aspect is coming up for you, it might be healthy. You know, you might have a good aspected Venus. The house person might have a good aspected Venus. So it's just a really loving, beautiful, connecting relationship. But I just don't want to throw it out there that it's all just perfect and everything's just romance and marriage and, you know, you live happily ever after like a fairy tale. You know, like we do have these shadow side aspects come up. And it's also good to understand that, you know, the couple also might have the same interests. You know, they might have the same hobbies and creativity and ways they make money, ways that they, you know, what they spend their money on and things like that. And I also feel like one of the issues that are really important here also is communication. Like this is like, Venus is an air sign, like when it's in Libra and in the 7th house, it's very much ruled by air. So it's very important that the couple have very good communication skills. But I feel like, you know, on the shadow side of this, there can be people pleasing, you know, because it's also the house of open enemies. You know, you could find this person your ideal, but they're not necessarily healthy for you. You know, maybe there's some, you know, narcissistic tendencies there, and you might have this lesson to, you know, learn to stick up for yourself, because we also do see codependency here, people pleasing. So, you know, especially with people with Pluto and Libra generation, you know, they are definitely here having to go up against partnerships where there can be like codependency with people with NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, and there's very much lessons here of taking your power back. So, you know, it will depend on your birth chart, but you know, just be aware that, you know, it is the house of open enemies. So, you know, we can be attracting someone that we think is our ideal partner, but they might not be at the same time. And also, I think it's really important to understand that the house person doesn't project things onto the Venus, because the house person, they don't necessarily see these qualities. So just say the Venus person is just very smart and intelligent and they're beautiful and they're good with money, but the house person doesn't see that in themselves. The house person only sees themselves from the first house. The seventh house is what they kind of can't see properly, but they see it in others. And this can go both ways. It can also go to the shadow side, where that house person is projecting issues onto that Venus person, which when they're really just the house person's issues. So it's very important that that this is recognized. You know, there is this opportunity, or is this chance where things can be heavily projected onto the Venus person. And it's also, you know, really important that, you know, you eliminate codependency here and people pleasing and learning to say no. Like, even though the relationship might be really great and you might want to marry this person and they're your ideal, we still can't have this codependency, people-pleasing thing. And this is all going to come down to your upbringing and what, you know, you need to learn on a soul level. But ultimately, you do need to say no sometimes, you know, both, like the house person and the Venus person. It can't just be this codependency and people-pleasing, that, you know, we do have to still be ourselves, our own individual selves. And that's really important, because that's what keeps us attracted to each other, is two people being themselves and not just molding into the one person in enmeshment, because the rest of the relationship stuff is so beautiful. You know, we still have to think for ourselves and do our own thing and be our own individual selves, and, you know, be able to say no and what's working and what's not. So this is why the communication component is very, 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 very important. But all in all, I do feel like this is just a beautiful placement to have. I know that I've been not Venus in someone's seventh house. I've been a Mars in someone's seventh house. And I know that I was very drawn to be in a relationship with that person. So, yes, I do just feel like I think any aspects in someone's seventh house, whether it's the AC, whether it's the sun, whether it's Venus, whether it's Mars, you know, any of these kind of intimate planets or aspects in someone's seventh house is just a really beautiful aspects to have in synastry. And yeah, with Venus being there, Venus coming home to the seventh house, it is just so beautiful for relationships. And, you know, if you do have other harsher aspects in synastry, this is really going to help bring balance and understanding and just beautify the relationship in a beautiful commitment. So I hope that was helpful, guys, and good luck if your Venus is in someone's seventh house. Bye.